Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that might completely reframe how you look at your own career in tech. You know, for years, the industry has practically treated the full-stack engineer as the ultimate, untouchable gold standard. But what if full stack is actually just the baseline? Today, we're diving into a fascinating case study that explores what it really takes to go beyond full stack and why the modern jack-of-all-trades is absolutely invaluable.
So, what does it actually take to push past that full-stack boundary? Our source material drops us right into the middle of a seriously complex global IT project. The mission? Adapting a UK-built system for the Japanese market. On the Japanese side of things, a seemingly ordinary technical support engineer was brought in, mostly because he was fluent in English. But as the project unfolded, it became crystal clear that this team member was anything but ordinary.
It's wild when you see what he was actually doing. This single individual was seamlessly juggling traditionally isolated domains. Japanese business experts would come to him with these high-level strategic questions, and without missing a beat, he'd turn right around to a systems engineer and say, "Okay, let's run this script," handling technical roadblocks right there on the spot. Literally, he was explaining complex database structures one minute and network architecture the exact next. He was basically a one-man bridge between completely different worlds.
Now, you might be wondering, does the market actually value this kind of cross-functional skill set? Well, the author discovered that this engineer's annual income was well over 10 million yen. That proves, without a doubt, that being a true hybrid, someone who deeply understands the business, the tech, and the data, is a highly sought-after capability. Companies will pay top-tier compensation for someone who can just eliminate project friction like that. But here is where the story takes a super fascinating turn. When the author actually praised him for these wide-ranging abilities, his reaction was just incredibly humble. He just smiled and said, "No, I'm just a jack of all trades. It's actually pretty tough." And that admission, it reveals a hidden burden. Being the one person who can translate across all these different silos carries an immense, often invisible weight.
Bridging the gaps, navigating time zones, languages, and the heavy friction between business and tech.
To really understand the difficulty here, just think about the brutal daily schedule driven by the time difference. Local business meetings kick off in the morning in Japan. Then, by the afternoon, the UK team wakes up and a flood of new specifications pours in. By evening, right when most people are heading home for dinner, intensive collaboration with the UK peaks, dragging deep into the night. Surviving this role required absolute mental and physical stamina. And during those grueling hours, his translation work wasn't just linguistic. It wasn't just English to Japanese. He had the high-stakes task of translating business intent into system requirements. He had to take a really high-level local business need, filter it through his deep understanding of the UK system, and then generate precise, workable technical specs for the Japanese developers. It is quite literally a masterclass in cross-functional thinking. But here's the real kicker. What made him so totally unique was that despite handling all this high-level strategy and international negotiation, he never once hesitated to get his own hands dirty. He didn't just, file a ticket and wait. He investigated issues directly. He was running scripts on the fly, manually checking databases, actively monitoring the network. He was the perfect, rare synthesis of a high-level strategist and a tactical, in-the-weeds engineer. Taking a quick pause right here, if you are enjoying this explainer on YouTube and finding value in how we break down these complex career insights, please take a quick second to hit that subscribe button and smash that good button down below. It really helps us keep bringing you these structured, deep dives into the topics that matter most. All right, let's jump right back into the mindset that makes this all possible. Getting back to our source material, the author had this really profound realization. Quote, "The more capable people become, the more they tend to cross the boundaries of their job descriptions." It's so true, right? When you're genuinely committed to solving a problem, hiding behind the phrase, "I only do front end," or "that's not my job," completely limits your impact. Truly capable people just follow the problem wherever it leads them. This creates a really sharp contrast in how we approach work. Think about the traditional specialist. They're highly skilled, absolutely, but they're isolated. They stay strictly within the safe walls of their job description. Compare that to the jack-of-all-trades in the era of digital transformation. They are the glue. They speak data, business, and tech incredibly fluidly, and they get their hands dirty to solve the problem end-to-end. So why does all this matter to you and me? Because in the world of digital transformation, tremendous value doesn't live deep inside isolated silos anymore. It lives in the spaces between them. The people driving true, game-changing innovation are the ones connecting the dots between business vision, data architecture, and engineering code. Being the bridge between isolated experts is what makes you indispensable.
But hey, we have to acknowledge reality for a second. Behind this incredible capability and the cool appearance of being able to fix literally any problem, there are unseen struggles. We have to remember those late-night meetings and the sheer mental fatigue of context switching from business strategy directly into complex database queries. It's a massive advantage, for sure, but it requires serious grit and relentless curiosity.
Okay, so how do we actually get there? The source lays out a pretty clear blueprint to move beyond the specialist role. First, understand the business and its overarching goals. Second, know the actual technical reality of your systems and data. Third, become the bridge that connects the different people in silos. Fourth, commit to solving problems completely, all the way to the end. And most importantly, take the very first step tomorrow to expand your own borders.
The author ended their observation by vowing to learn areas outside their own specialty right away. And I want to pass that exact challenge on to you. If you want to become that indispensable jack of all trades who connects all the dots, what adjacent area will you learn tomorrow? Is it business strategy? Maybe network infrastructure? The spaces between the silos are waiting. It's time to start building your bridge.